protocols and model the behavior we want others to exhibit. We therefore commit to honoring and upholding these commitments in words and in action.
Chancellor, do we have a report on item in closed sessions?
There's no reportable action from closed session tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. We have a motion to approve.
Move approval.
Second.
So
Student trustee Parmigiani,
Yes.
student trustee Byrne,
Yes.
trustee Withrow,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
trustee Napoli Bellarice.
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan,
yes.
motion passes.
Move approval.
Second.
You?
Student trustee Parmigiani,
Yes.
student trustee Byrne,
Yes.
trustee Withrow,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
trustee Napoli Bellarice,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan,
Yes.
motion passes.
Oh, we do have one.
Oh, right.
Hello. Hi, I am Davina Malbro. I am currently the vice president on Merritt Student, Associated Student with Merritt. The first thing I came for was me being a student. It's about the higher up grant. Merritt is receiving 3 payments in higher up, and we will no longer have money next semester for the higher up grant. I know that the other colleges, BCC and Laney, are receiving 4 payments, and College of Alameda are receiving 5 payments. It was not a lot of information in regards to higher up for students, when it will end, when it will start. And I'm definitely an advocate for Merritt, and I love my campus. So I always tell people, come to Merritt, you could go to Merritt. And I always advocate for the things that they do have at Merritt. And financial aid is like the bread and butter for all the students who do go to community colleges because they need the extra financial support. Furthermore, higher up is a grant for students who are formerly incarcerated, foster care, or women who have children or are single parents. So it definitely will affect a lot of students at Merritt. They can switch to a different school, but a lot of students at Merritt also go to programs that are not switchable, like the nursing program. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention because it is a pressing issue for associated students at Merritt College. We do have some good things going on here at Merritt College. The board just approved to give away $10,000 in scholarship to students. We will have a criteria on how students can be able to receive that. That will be going on next year for the semester. And we have approved for Express Enrollment Week engagement, where we're going to have a big Express Enrollment Week for associated students to Merritt at Merritt College to not exceed so many funds, but to be able to get enrollment for students. But some of the things that we advocate for with students, furthermore, like higher up, some things that I've told students to come up there for, we won't have anymore moving forward. I don't have any clear answers about higher up. So that's one of my biggest things. And also too, about getting engagement with our athletics teams. We partnered with the women's basketball athletics team we went to a few games this semester, and we just partnered with them so we can be able to help get all of our athletics teams known. I think that's a very important thing to bring morale and spirit back to all campuses with Peralta. And those are just a few things that we are working on, but I just wanted to come up here for the Associated Students of Merritt. Thank you.
Any other? Peralta Classified Senate, nothing?
By the skin of my teeth. The traffic is terrible tonight. I just want to put a plug in for public transportation, having taken AC Transit to and from College of Alameda today. It was such a delight. And then driving here, the 3 miles took me 40 minutes. So take public transportation, folks. I'm Matthew Goldstein. I am the president of the District Academic Senate. I promise to be brief. I just wanted to update folks on the shared governance manual and the new committee structure. The chancellor and I have been in, as you've heard, constant communication about this new process and these new committees. That will be unveiled in January. Right now, we are making our final appointments to those committees. And again, we should have those in place in January ahead of the spring flex day. So we're very excited about that. I should add that the new committee structures will be put to the test in the months ahead as the district continues to exert pressure on the colleges to make changes in the era of flattening revenue and declining enrollment. So we'll see, we'll stress test our new structure presently. I wanted to follow up on my preview from my last appearance at the podium about Merritt College's hosting of the Northern Regional Curriculum Institute. It was a big success. Again, helped elevate Peralta's profile around the state. There was a nice cameo from Chancellor Gilkerson herself at the event, and we can look forward to continuing to elevate our profile in coming years when the College of Alameda welcomes the Northern Regional to the island next year. You can count on detailed reports next semester as faculty continue to work on the Common Course numbering effort, which again is a big one. DAS is also talking about formalizing some more subcommittees, which, as you can imagine, is a complicated process. So I'll detail those efforts here later. And I should say, too, that there are a couple of exciting resolutions making their way up through the college senates that will come to the District Academic Senate and ultimately to the board in the months ahead. So thanks very much. Have a safe and happy holiday season, and I appreciate you keeping me on the agenda.
Thank you. 3.11, public communications on matters that are not on the agenda.
We have Jeff Sinceri.
All right. Good evening, Chancellor, Vice Chancellors, Presidents, and esteemed members of the board. And also welcome to our next interim mayor, I believe, Kevin Jenkins, right back there. Is that him? Yeah, I think I saw him. All right. We're nearing the end of the semester and the calendar year, so I'll be brief. A couple of important things. PFT is eager to start negotiating with the district again as our contract expires in July. The spring semester goes by quick, and the more we talk, the sooner we can come to an agreement. At least that's what I hope. Not tonight, unfortunately, but in your first meeting in January, we'll be sending you guys on the board the items to Sunshine so we can start and conclude negotiations without having to work with an expired contract. Fingers crossed. And second, and I do want to send a message out to our students here and listening and watching. I want to applaud you for a number of reasons, but one is because I think you know better than anybody else to get into Peralta Colleges, and through the application process and registration, you have to really want it. And that's why it's concerning that among those registered students, a growing number are finding that they can't always get the classes they want or need. Wait lists are long, and despite there being a demand for classes, we simply aren't offering them or opening up new sections. This is, so far as I can tell, the experience of a lot of students. Part of me wants to say that if we have students that want to take classes but can't, then obviously we need to hire more teachers. I think that the chancellor and just about everybody else in the administration will probably tell you it's a little more complicated than that, and I know so much. I know that. So I'll just stick with the simple facts that I think we can all agree on. And maybe we can think about these over the break. There are a lot of faculty this coming spring who want to teach but aren't. And we also know that there are a lot of students who want to learn but can't. Have a great vacation, and I hope to see you guys.
Thank you. Any other public communications?
There are no other public comments.
Chancellor's reports.
Excellent. Thank you, Vice President Quinlan. Good evening, everyone. We could queue up my presentation, please. I'm pleased to kick off my Chancellor's report tonight, sharing highlights of our second session in our 2024-25. You go to the second slide, please. Share screen. Can you share screen? Slideshow. In our 2024-25 classified symposium series, Synergy and Strength, we held the fall convening focused on renewing our purpose at Berkeley City College on November 15th. Thank you to President Richardson and the BCC team for the warm welcome and hospitality. With over 100 in attendance, we had a magnificent day building community with a keynote welcome by President Melanie Dixon, who helped us check our receipts, noting that we define the terms. Her journey from classified professional to college president was inspiring for all of us. We also had wonderful closing panel with Dr. William Ramos Ochoa, Acting Dean of Career and Workforce Education at College of Alameda, John Nguyen, Dean of Enrollment Services at College of Alameda, Alejandra Tomas, Dean of Career and Technical Education at Laney College, and Doris Hankins, the Director of Student Activities and Campus Life at Merritt College, sharing their insights from classified to management too. However, I want to say I was most inspired by the planning team of classified professionals and the work they did to plan the entire day by facilitating general sessions that led inspiring breakouts focused on our Daring to Lead book with discussions on rumbling with vulnerability, braving trust, learning to rise, and living into our values. So really want to do a special thanks to the entire planning committee. There's a lot of names that are associated with that. And just again, thanking that team of individuals for coming together and working together to do the work. And you could see the planning team there in the little stroke, but I again want to thank Hope Lane, Annie Lou. There is so many people that I'm going to forget everybody's names, so I apologize, but special thanks to everybody. Want to say them, Hope? Tom Rizza, Brandy Howard, we had Tashetta Henry, we had Angela Kimball from College of Alameda, Waduda from Merritt College. So we had a really incredible team from our colleges and really excited about planning our spring convening now. Next slide. There are a lot of wonderful things happening in educational services led by the Vice Chancellor, Tina Vasconcelos. I hope you'll check out the new newsletter with highlights on the work happening in academic affairs, planning and research, grant management, and more. Dr. Vasconcelos co-chairs the Oakland Post-Secondary Education and Workforce Collaborative, allowing our district to actively partner in the collaborative work happening to identify needed systems changes and new strategies to support Oakland young people in the transition after high school. On November 15th, they hosted the Voices from Transition Summit, bringing Oakland together for facilitated conversations between Oakland young adults and those who seek to support their successful pathways to the future. Members of our Youth Advisory Board shared findings from their recently released participatory research project about community college access, which sheds light on the current challenges students face. The summit was a great success, and the data and feedback are being integrated into the work we are already doing here in the district. I look forward to sharing some of these insights at an upcoming board meeting in the spring. Next slide. I was pleased to join Board President Gonzalez Brito, Laney College faculty and staff, Laney alumni, and a number of Skyline High School alums in their varsity jackets that still fit, celebrating Laney College football's final game of the season, where they honored the sophomores and the retirement of John Beam after 45 years of coaching in Oakland, and we'll be doing a proclamation for John here in a second. Thanks to DAS President Matthew Goldstein, next slide, for inviting me to stop by the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges ASCCC's Northern California Regional Curriculum convening on Saturday, November 16th at Merritt College. It was a pleasure hosting ASCCC President Cheryl Ossenbach, at-large representatives Karen Chow from De Anza College and Eric Reese, Area C representative from Moore Park College, and many more at the beautiful Merritt campus to talk about all things curriculum. And there is so much going on. You heard that about common course numbering and all of these projects. But I was pleased to see so many of our district curriculum chairs, specialists, and articulation officers representing the district well. Next slide. Well, PCCD was representing in Burlingame with a deep squad at the California Community College League of California's annual convention, Lead Beyond Limits, November 21st to the 23rd. Along with Presidents Johnson and Richardson, it was a joy to learn alongside trustees Delphine Polk, Gonzalez Brito, Gonzalez Yuen, Trustee Napoli Abella Reese, and Quinlan, as we heard innovative sessions on AI, the state of the system, and other topics. I am tremendously proud and honored to be part of this team. Next slide. It's amazing what can happen with a simple conversation with a generous, creative, dynamic, and committed individual who's so committed to creating opportunities to recruit and support faculty from diverse backgrounds in teaching at the Peralta Colleges. Taking an idea I implemented years ago at the Contra Costa Community College District, Dr. Vanson Nguyen, Professor of Mathematics at College of Alameda, and our Faculty Diversity Internship Program Coordinator planned a one-day Love Your Future as a faculty member in community colleges and symposium sharing information about our colleges, the benefits of a career as a faculty member in community colleges, and about our application and interview process on November 22nd at COA. With outreach to local graduate programs and other contexts, there were over 35 prospective faculty in attendance representing 20 disciplines, and we had 13 different discipline breakouts. Thank you to Vanson, the student panelists, President Dixon for hosting and generating enthusiasm along with President Besikoff, and the dedicated faculty from our colleges who came to support. I also want to give a shout out to our HR team for representing and being there on hand to answer questions. Next slide. Nothing thrills me more than seeing our students in action, and I had two opportunities last week. First, I was pleased to stop by COA's Art Museum, where I got to view the incredible portfolios on display from two students, McKenna Quigley and Aurelie Chavez. The compositions and thoughtfulness of their work was inspiring and so creative. I was pleased to get a chance to actually meet Aurelie personally and talk with Professor Cynthia Horn about her progression and amazing accomplishments. Thank you, Professor Horn and Professor Burgess, for your leadership. On December 4th, I had the opportunity to attend the Africana Center and African American Studies Black Inventors Student Showcase. It was such a treat spending time with President Johnson and hearing directly from our students on their selected inventors, including inventors like Philip P. Dowling, who helped invent the hinged cover of the mailboxes that we all know today. Christian T. highlighted Frederick McKinley Jones, who invented the AC unit for vehicles, revolutionizing refrigeration transportation. Alyssa Bogle, she showcased Dr. Patricia Bath, who invented the laser Foucault. I don't know. You know, I got to go learn this word. But it's a probe, basically, folks, and it's a surgical tool that uses a laser to remove cataracts. I mean, my goodness, from a patient's eye. So really happy about learning about that. And Perla Soltz, who featured Gladys West, an American mathematician who invented the Global Positioning System, also known as GPS. I'm grateful for Professor Danea Martinez, who teaches African American Studies and encourages this incredible showcase with our students. And again, I'm going to follow up on DAS President Matthew Goldstein, but thank you to DAS President Matthew Goldstein, PCS Secretary Tashetta Henry, BCC Academic Senate President Matthew Freeman for going on the road with me to all 3 college councils and the roundtable at BCC to share the adoption of the new District Shared Governance Handbook. I want to thank all the students, faculty, and classified professionals who participated in 2 summits, both in March and August, to contribute to a reimagined governance structure rooted in shared values, community commitments that we hope will enable collective action marked by urgency and hope. As we engage in appreciative engagement framework focused on defining, discovering, dreaming, designing, and delivering together. My thanks to these outstanding leaders and partners. We look forward to implementing the new governance structure in the spring. And finally, it was a joy to be in the Central Valley at Laney College alongside an incredible team of student basic needs champions across the district, including basic needs coordinators Izzy Villanueva from BCC, Susanna Aburam from Merritt College, Jeremy Simmons from College of Alameda, Doris Hankins was the Director of Student Activities at Merritt College was there, Carolina Martinez, the Undocumented Community Resource Center and Student Equity and Achievement Coordinator from BCC, along with Michael Alvilar, our Senior Store Clerk at BCC, was also there. We had student ambassadors from BCC and media specialists who really came to really support this alongside President Beslikoff, who is also there and serves on the statewide affordability task force. We were well represented, and I also want to give a call out to Izzy Villanueva, who has now been named to the advisory board for the Real College California Coalition and is representing our district well. It is a great day to be in Peralta, and I just want to say thank you and blessings on, very happy holidays and a good end to the semester to our community. Thank you.
Do we have our president's reports? No? Okay. So we've now come to recognition of Laney football coach John Beam. So John, if you can step forward, we have a resolution to read for you.
Well, we're going to play the video first.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
John Beam is an Oakland football coaching icon, but after 45 years on the sideline, he gave up his whistle and play call sheet this weekend. I was lucky enough to spend time with Coach in his final days.
I want people to say, like, you know what, that Beam, Coach Beam, he didn't cheat the city. He didn't cheat us. He gave us everything that he had.
John Beam has done all that and more over 4 decades coaching football in Oakland. If I were to say you were the heartbeat of Laney College, could you wear that?
I'd love to wear, but I don't think I am. I think our students are, but I like to think that I'm part of the blood that makes it pump.
This is it, huh? Let them know who you are. Let them know who you are.
Beam spent the last 20 years at Laney College. Before that, he built Skyline High School into one of the best programs in the Bay Area. The Titans went through the 90s without losing a league game.
Someone looked it up. I've had over 30 kids be involved in the NFL in some way. All that's important and it means a lot, but really how many lives have I been able to impact and have become positive members of society? That to me is even bigger than playing in the NFL.
2 claps, Ray right. 2 claps, Ray right.
Beam always puts Oakland first, but he gained national fame in 2020 when Laney was profiled on the Netflix series Last Chance U. Your chest must have stuck out proud when they came to you and said, you know what? We're into the Laney College Eagles.
My chest did not stick out proud. I was a little worried. I wasn't sure I wanted to do it at first.
So we won! I'm like, fire!
I get the email and I looked at my family, I showed it to them. My wife's like, no. My oldest like, Daddy, you can't do it. My youngest like, Daddy, you gotta do it. Like, you gotta do it. Like, what?
I told you, man. I used to catch arrows, man. I used to shoot arrows at them. I catch them with my hands. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Talked to the people I'm closest with, approached the president, who is now our chancellor, Tamil, and our VP at the time, Vicki Ferguson, had watched all the Last Chance. Yes, and she's from the South, and she understands the impact that sports play in a community. We've got to show it. We got to, show how we do things here at Laney, how we do things in California are different than other places. I think people got to see not only me, but more importantly, our young people here, but also the city of Oakland.
You better come strong. You come to the town.
But now, the 65-year-old says it's time for a new chapter, and he's got a lot left on his bucket list.
I've coached everybody else's kids. Now I want to coach my own, in essence, right? I got to coach my daughters a little bit when they were growing up, but now I got these two granddaughters. I want to be the soccer grandpa, right? Or the baseball, or softball, or basketball grandpa. I'm going to hang out with you. I'm going to carry your camera, your chairs, right? Think about it. I've been coaching football for 45 years. I want to go to an Army-Navy game. I want to go to a SEC. I want to go to a Michigan-Ohio State. I want to go to an HBCU homecoming game.
Beam won't be coaching football after this season, but he's not ready to retire.
Play together. Play physical. Here we go. 2 claps. Right.
Beam will remain Laney's athletic director. Do you stay in the same office?
Of course.
Okay, all right. I didn't know whether it was one of those things where you write a note for the next coach, leave it in the drawer for him to read. And
first of all, I have horrible handwriting, so he wouldn't be able to read it. Oh no, I'm going to stay right there in that office right there, Vern.
Okay.
Yeah, that way you know where to find me.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's that corner office.
We have some public comment too, or do we want to do the resolution first? Okay, resolution. Start us off. Our
Whereas-
entire board is going to participate in this.
Whereas Coach John Beam has been an integral part of Laney College since 2004. Coach Beam began his career at Laney College as a running back coach and swiftly became the offensive coordinator in 2005. Under Coach Beam's leadership as offensive coordinator, the Laney Eagles achieved 3 conference championships, 5 consecutive bowl game appearances, showcasing his strategic brilliance and dedication to athletic excellence. And
whereas in 2012, Coach Beam became head football coach and continued to lead the Laney football program in shining as the Eagles continue to win 2 league titles, achieve a .600 winning percentage, and play in 14 bowl games, 3 CCCAA, is that how it's said? Okay, playoff appearances, 1 state championship, and 1 CCCAA Coach of the Year. And
whereas Coach Beam's leadership and personal commitment to elevating Laney College's football program led to national prominence in 2020 when the Laney Eagles were featured on Netflix's Last Chance U. This program not only highlighted the resilience and struggles of Laney's student athletes, but also celebrated the transformative power of Coach Beam's mentorship, his larger-than-life personality, his unwavering love for the city of Oakland, and his iconic mustache, inspiring success on and off the field. And
whereas over his distinguished 45-year career at Laney College and Skyline High School, Coach Beam has been instrumental in developing over 30 National Football League players, including 7 Super Bowl participants, as well as champions at every level of football, from NCAA titles to the Canadian Grey Cup and NFL Europe Championship, coaching over 2,500 players, 500 games, 239 victories, and over 200 Division I athletes. And
whereas Coach Beam has always fostered and celebrated a culture of academic achievement, with his Laney College football program maintaining an impressive 90% graduation and transfer rate. His commitment to success has always exceeded his commitment to football, as he has consistently inspired student athletes to excel in the classroom
and build foundations for lifelong success. And whereas students who have been through Coach Beam's programs are successful doctors, entrepreneurs, authors, public servants, and more. And
Whereas Coach Beam's charismatic leadership, marked by his genuine warmth, humor, and high expectations, have endeared him to students, colleagues, and the community alike. His deep-rooted love for Oakland is reflected in his dedication to uplifting local youth and contributing to the city's rich cultural tapestry. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the governing board of the Peralta Community College District extends its deepest gratitude to Coach John Beam for his steadfast leadership, his transformative impact on the lives of countless students, his distinctive personality, and his dedication to academic and athletic excellence, which has profoundly enriched Laney College and the broader community.
Proclaimed by the Peralta Community College District Chancellor and the Board of Trustees this day, the 10th day of December, 2024. Congratulations, Coach John Beam. Trustees, you want to come down and take a picture with the coach? And then I know there were other public comments, I think, related to this item, or no? Okay.
Thank you. Kevin Jenkins, retired Peralta Community College trustee. I'd be remiss if I did not come here and just celebrate Coach Beam, not for just his football accolades, but just who he is to our community, who he is to me as a mentor. Coach Beam he's from San Diego, but he embodies what it means to be from Oakland. Oakland is written all over him. He's coached football, but more than that, he's turned boys into men. He's kept young Oakland men from dying on the streets. He gave them a different pathway, and I'm forever grateful for Coach Beam, even though I'm an Oakland High Wildcat. There you go. They used to kick our butts all the time when I was in school. And so I was happy when Coach Beam left Skyline. But I wish you well in your retirement, whatever that looks like. I know he's working with me on the Coliseum JPA, trying to get this sold to ASCG and in turn saving the city of Oakland as well. So congratulations on your retirement. I know you're not really going to be retired. You're going to find something great to do. And I have a commendation here for you, but I'm not going to read any whereases or anything like this. You can hang it up in your office. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Well, Tamil said I get to say something, and first of all, I want to thank Tamil. She came out in green. She wore our national #1 team in the country state championship pennant today. So she's really rocking Laney today. I apologize to the presidents, but you know, you got to work at it, right? So I just want to say a couple little things. Number one is neither of my parents graduated high school. My mom came over from Korea. My dad was in the Navy, but they made education important. I'm a product of a community college. I went to San Diego Mesa. And if I didn't go to Mesa, I had put in my high school thing that I was going to go be a tuna fisherman because they made a lot of money back in the 70s when you were in San Diego. But luckily, I decided to keep playing football and go on. I had a major knee surgery and couldn't play. And my coach at the time told me to go coach, just spend some time coaching before you go take your scholarship. And I spent 2 years coaching and I loved it. And then I met my wife, and my wife is also, she came from parents of limited background, no college. And so, she's a college graduate, and our two daughters, one has a PhD, one has a master's. And so I know the value of education, but when I came to Peralta, and I want to say this to the board and to our presidents and everybody that's listening, we play a vital role in our community. I know you think you understand it, but I don't think you get it. We go out and recruit. We go to over 200 high schools. I meet the kids where they live. I walk in their shoes. I bring them to Laney. I walk them through the process. Every step of the way, because there's hurdles every day. If we're not there to help them, they believe that they've been told they don't belong and they leave. But if you sit there and you really embrace them and show them it's possible. When Tamil and I chose to do Last Chance U, we didn't say last chance. You said first chance, best chance. And we meant it. Since I've been at Laney, I've had kids that have come here. We had a young man that came from Tonga that didn't speak English. He learned English at Laney. He got a scholarship. We had a kid that was a Division I player, played for me at Skyline, went to Cal, failed out of Cal because he had a learning disability. And he didn't want to tell them at Cal. He came here to Laney. And we put him in our DSPS program at the time. I know it's a new name now. But we got him through with his disability. He went on and got a scholarship, got drafted, played 6 years in NFL, and went to a Super Bowl. But every step of the way, because I know who they are. I've been in their footsteps. I follow them. That's what makes us special. Don't forget it. I know when Denise, you and I were colleagues together teaching, and you'd show up early in your class, and right? Because that's what our students need that. It's okay, right? It's okay. Ray and Shani were featured on Last Chance U. They both are in the NFL, but more importantly, their father was killed during the time they were going to graduate from high school, and when they didn't want to leave their house because they were heartbroken. I went and got them. I picked them up and brought them to Laney, and then we supported them every day by just being there and listening. It's not being faculty, and I don't mean to disregard that we teach and we put numbers and big words on the board. Talk to them. Listen to what our students need. That's what we did, and that's what Tamil and I, when we set out to show Last Chance U, we saw young men sleeping in cars. They had no food. And it's a violation in 3C2 to feed them, but we didn't care. We fed them anyways. So do what it takes. You'll be rewarded in a lot of different ways, trust me. But if you can understand where our students live, walk in their shoes, and just be with them from the time they come to Laney to the time they leave, and you'll finish it out. My last thing, I spent 5 years at Frick Junior High School when I was coaching at Skyline. And you know what Frick's reputation was. They came to my last game. They showed up. Guys, they're in their 50s. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, bus drivers, whatever, right? Hustlers. But no one ever believed in those young people at Frick. But guess what? They were unbelievable, and anything's possible as long as you believe in them so they can learn to believe in themselves, because no one else has. We have a great opportunity here at this college, at all our colleges, but don't lose sight of that. I took too much time. I appreciate you, but just understand that they need us and we need them, because it reminds us where we came from, because it reminds me every day where I came from. Thank you so much. And again, I appreciate this. I can't tell you how much it means. Thank you all. I know I've had some differences with some of you, and I'll stay around for a while to keep things lively around here for a while until Tamil tells me I gotta kick rocks. Thank you all.
Okay, now we have our presentation on our 2023-2024 Annual District Audit Report from CWDL.
Thank you, Vice President Quinlan. I'm pleased tonight to have Ben Levitt, our primary engagement partner with CWDL, here tonight to present the June 30th, 2024 annual audit reports that are being presented to the Board of Trustees tonight. And thank you so much, Ben, for your partnership and incredible support of our district. Welcome.
Not quite yet. Almost. How about now? Oh, perfect. I'll speak to any questions on any aspect of the reports or any of our procedures performed for fiscal 24. Oh, there it is. Wonder if that's slideshow. Oh, interesting. All right. Perfect. Great. Thank you. All right. So diving right in. At a high level, these, I think there might be one screen that's not showing it, but it looks like it's on the other. So I'll just move on forward. We've got a kind of a high level look at what I'll be speaking to, talking briefly about the team, the reasons for the audit requirement, and then going into what we actually did during fiscal 24. So just real briefly about the team. Myself, I have the privilege of being the lead partner on the engagement. I'm joined by fellow partners Dennis Maschke and John Dominguez, and also Stephen Curry and Kyle Holtz. Every single member of the team, all the way down, staff, seniors, managers, has over 3 years of focused community college district audit experience. Our firm works with around half of the system. This is very much the space that we operate in. We take quite a bit of pride in working with the California Community College District system. Speaking to the audit requirement, it's not only enshrined in Education Code, but also in District Board Policy, Board Policy 6400. And that audit requirement kind of spills over many different scopes that we see in fiscal 24. So in the district audit report itself, we have 4 separate auditors' reports contained within that document. We have our independent auditors report where we opine on the fairness of the presentation of the overall district financials. We have the Yellow Book report where we speak to our testing over internal controls and controls over fiscal compliance. And we have our testing over federal and state compliance, as the district is a recipient of substantial amounts of federal and state money. There's also the bond audits, the Proposition 39 audits over measures A and G, and those are both financial and performance audits, and the parcel tax audits over measures B and E, which are financial and performance as well. And kind of diving right into the results of those audits, skipping kind of to the back of the report, which is typically the most interesting section where we note any comments identified in the current year under audit fiscal 24. We do note 2 exceptions in the current year. These are both exceptions in the district audit report. We note no exceptions in either the bond or the parcel tax reports. In the district audit, we note 2 comments, 2024-001 and 2024-002. And I'll speak to those in a bit of detail, and I'm going to pause after each one just to check in and see if the board has any questions with respect to what we saw there. Finding 2024-001 pertains to federal controls, and this is a comment that will be familiar to the board as it is a carry forward comment from the prior year. We do note, however, a significant improvement from the prior year, fiscal 23. We note that in the current year, documentation over several key processes in the student financial aid process in the student financial aid department are in place at all colleges with one loan exception. And I'm pleased to report to the board that loan exception during fiscal 24 has since been fully brought on and documented and made consistent with the other colleges. So closing out fiscal 24, this finding is actually already implemented. Nonetheless, as a compliance finding that was applicable during the year, we do bring it to the board's attention in this comment. So a very similar structure to what appeared in the prior year, but only for fiscal 24 relating to one college. And I have every confidence, because I've seen the records, that for fiscal 25, we will be able to reflect this as implemented in that next year's audit. So maybe I'll pause briefly there and just check in with the board to see if there's any questions on that item before going to the next. All right, and hearing none, moving on to finding 2024-002. This is a new comment for fiscal 24. This concerns our state compliance testing. State compliance testing is a very broad area. These are procedures outlined by the California Community College District Chancellor's Office in their annual Contracted District Audit Manual. And this particular procedure concerned our testing of FTES, specifically FTES related to what are called positive attendance or actual hours of attendance courses. We noted a couple fairly isolated instances where courses were being claimed at 100% participation, and that appeared a bit strange. Drilling into that, we did interview a handful of instructors and found that several of those courses were indeed being misreported. The instructors had a misunderstanding that they were to report 100% participation when in fact the requirement is for them to report only that participation, only those hours of attendance that were actually worked by students in the class. And so we identify a question cost not to exceed $70,141. And I just want to point out for the board, the reason why that language appears not to exceed is because that would be the absolute maximum dollar value of this finding if there was zero participation in any of these four courses. That is not the case. Based on our conversations with these instructors, there was definitely activity occurring. It was just a bit of a challenge to get the actual figures for participation prior to the close of the audit requirement. And so we indicate the finding at that maximum dollar value when in fact, probably within the next few weeks, we'll be able to obtain documentation that will lower that amount. But I want to pause there for a moment just to check to see with the board. This is a new comment for this year if there's any questions relating to this finding. All right, and hearing none, I'll move on to a bit of good news. The comment that was cleared from fiscal 23 was a federal comment relating to procedures over remitting funds to the state in the form of the outstanding student refund checks. We noted from our testing in fiscal 24 there were no exceptions in this area, and so we're able to reflect that is implemented for fiscal 24. And then kind of taking an overarching look, kind of a step back across all the results. For the district audit, we are rendering an unmodified opinion, which is the highest quality opinion an audit firm can render, and is to say, based upon our testing, the financials contained in the district audit, as well as the bond and parcel tax audits, can absolutely be relied upon by this governing board and all of the district stakeholders. We further note zero financial statement findings noted during fiscal 24, 2 compliance findings, both over federal and state compliance, as noted just a moment ago, and then 0 comments over both the bonds and the parcel taxes, which is outstanding. And so with that, I know I covered all of that at quite a high level. I want to make sure to open for any questions any member of the board may have on any aspect of the fiscal 24 audits or anything relating to the reports that have been provided in your packet.
Any questions from the board?
All right.
You have a question? Oh, okay. the comment that I wanted to put forth was thank you. Thank you for the audit and thank you for, you do a very good job of doing this. You always take our findings because we have had findings in the past and sometimes more than this year, but you contextualize it locally and then you also do a very good job of letting us know how significant it is within the system. And so we didn't have that problem this year, which is good, but you also help mitigate our anxieties or concerns even with the finding that we had this year. So thank you. And then maybe just the other question on your report here.
Yeah.
You said that they weren't findings, but they were kind of under the category of other odd findings or issues. And there were three things that you noted, and you talked about historical funds, employee deduction accounts. I'm assuming that they didn't rise to that significance, but anything we need to know about those three bullet points?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So those are items. One thing that we really like is the opportunity to share a lot of perspective, with the district team while we're engaged kind of in our field work. Those are items that would rise to the level of a deficiency, but not a reportable significant deficiency or material weakness. And so those are items that, based on our conversations with staff, we feel very comfortable at how they're being addressed by staff, and we feel that they're too minor to rate as a reportable comment, but nonetheless, something that we want to share with the board. And I do want to point out that audits are generally kind of an antagonistic process. The things that we do note tend to be finding somewhat negative. I really want to extend our appreciation to staff. Staff have been tremendous in providing us with everything that we've needed to do our work in a timely fashion. This is one of the earliest reports that we are able to present. As I said, we work with around half the system. Many of our audits, even at this late date, are still ongoing because it's very challenging to get some of these items locked down and be able to test that and ultimately deliver these audits to the Chancellor's office as required by December 31st. That was not an issue here whatsoever. And I think that speaks very well to the team in place here. So I just want to make sure to mention that that's not something that shows up in the report, just kind of based on how the process itself is rather negative in nature. But it's something that I do want to highlight for the board, just to give a little bit of context on the team that we have the privilege of working with. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So on approval of all consent items, I forgot earlier, I had to pull one item on 9.2 where I
Vice
have,
President Quinlan, I apologize. This is actually an action item.
right. My apologies. So do we have a motion to accept the audit finding?
So moved.
Second.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Pope?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So point of order, Vice President Quinlan, you needed to pull action item
9.2.
9.2.
I have a conflict of interest on.
You can take.
Go ahead. Pardon? We can go ahead and vote on the other items and then.
Yes.
Yeah, so can we have a motion to approve the consent items?
Motion to approve the consent items absent item 9.2.
Second.
Second.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Pope?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So item 9.2 is consider approval of the budget transfer report for the period covering from October 1st through October 31st, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
yes,
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
yes.
Motion passes.
We'll now move to the action agenda. The first action item is 11.1. Consider adoption of resolution number 2425-148, approving an agreement incorporating a college-wide contract for purchase of information technology equipment and services from Net Experts, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $443,319.96 for the new Transportation and Technology Center Board of Trustees. This is an item that has been a general item that we've had similar in the past.
move approval,
Second, and I'd ask that we just combine this with item 11.2, delegation of authority during the board recess for winter break, and take one roll call vote on both.
I'll accommodate that in the move,
Second?
So we have a motion and a second on item 11.1 and 11.2. Roll call.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
yes,
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Oh, 12 point.
Board of Trustees reports.
Where do you want to start?
Trustee Withrow? Cindy?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a second. As you saw in the picture, a majority of us were, not a majority. Oh yeah, actually a majority of us were at the CCLC conference in Burlingame. Whoopee and fun Burlingame. It was really good to attend. It was, I think my particular favorite at these conferences are the general sessions, because we get an opportunity to see the state of the system. We get an opportunity to see what's happening nationwide, given the election and what's potentially coming down the road as it relates to our system and education in general. And I also like going to this because I think it helps us as a governing board with our chancellor to be able to break bread and, and really kind of enrich our community. And I think it's so important because we come back richer, we come back more improved, we come back really as a unit, I think, and that's definitely important. And then lastly, the title of the session was Leading Without Limits. And as I was listening to Coach Beam, I think that he is the epitome of leading without limits in so many different ways. And it was an honor to put forth that to read the paragraph of that resolution. And what an honor to have had him here for decades, right? 20 years, 2012 or 10 years. And really just working with our students and making them so victorious, not just academically and educationally, but personally. And I think that is invaluable. And those are large shoes to fill. They're going to be exciting to see. They're going to be exciting to see filled, but his memory and what he's done will go on for such a long time. So that's all I have.
Thank you. I was also at the league conference a couple weeks ago, and I'll say for me, probably the highlight was the very refreshing presence of so many people of color. When I started as a graduate student at Cal and a law student at Cal, out of the 50 full-time faculty members who were tenure and tenure track, there were 3 people of color and women. Literally, we were arrested in the dean's office, just pushing for an expansion of perspective. The lack of that perspective was so debilitating to the educational opportunities for that generation of lawyers. And so coming to the community college system, I literally was the first person of color hired in my department ever. I was the third in the entire social sciences division at De Anza College. And, you know, we're not talking ancient history here. I realize I'm now a senior, but it wasn't that ancient. So to have so many fresh, interesting, powerful, diverse voices. I was at the reception for the Asian Pacific American trustees and administrators. Happened to be sitting down next to 3 Asian American women college presidents. It was just like normal. Wow, what a difference. That cohort of leaders was really engaged fully in a discussion of where we need to be right now in this moment, educating these students that we have, supporting them, protecting them, and empowering them within the context of what we are going to see coming in 2025. And for me, one of the exciting interactions I had was with our former general counsel, really talented Thuy Nguyen, who is putting together a session with Natasha's firm, where she's a partner, on preparing, pivoting, and being proactive in the legal realm about what we're going to face here, what we are already facing in terms of attacks on our faculty, attacks on our students, attacks on the existential components of our system. And so seeing so much talent come together to be part of that leadership in the state was really exciting. So I'll just say one other thing then. Last Wednesday, I had the opportunity to log into the final session for the shared governance presentations. This one was at the College of Alameda. Thank you, President Dixon, for hosting. What an impressive milestone this new handbook is. First of all, we're actually calling it shared governance, like really owning that we are sharing governance. And that's powerful. To see the buy-in and the specific mechanics of that coming together in a really powerful way just says volumes just about where we are as a district. And I know we face like overwhelming challenges. Our chancellor has said, you know, we just need a moonshot effort. But I think that what I'm seeing is just real concrete evidence that we're ready for that. And, you know, if we don't succeed completely, we're going to give it our damn best shot. And that was exciting. So, you know, we've always got room for improvement. I probably say a little too much about what we could do to fix it from time to time. Part of being Chinese, I think. Anyway, so everybody who was involved in that effort, thank you so much. That's it. Thanks.
I was also at the conference, the league conference. I went to some amazing workshops, many of them having to do with the community college finances. And I know that's a great concern of ours here. And it was heartening to hear that many other colleges across the state are facing the same issues we are of changing demographics, COVID impacted enrollments, and people are thinking hard about trying to figure out how to change it so that the new funding formula will work for all of us. And so that was really exciting to hear other people talking about it and realizing that we're not alone in what we're facing. That was, I found that very reassuring and made some good contacts there.
Excuse me, President, or Vice President. I just also want to, I'm going to send out the flyer for that session. It's a legal briefing. It's a 1-hour thing. It's open to faculty, presidents, trustees, leaders in the system. I think it's going to be a pretty powerful briefing, and it's a gathering for us. And I'll send it to our board clerk to ask her to send it out. but you could mark your calendars. It's this coming Wednesday from 12 to 1:30, hour and a half. I think it's a good gathering place for those of us who are interested in figuring out how do we prep for that fight. So thank you. Sorry.
Right. So a few days after Veterans Day, last month, I was actually able to speak with Dr. Van Hook, LaShawn Brumfield from COA, Tanya Mitchell, I believe, regarding a new veteran scholarship that they're trying to put together. Last year, they are members of PAW, president of PAW, and members of PAW, which is the African American group for Peralta. They usually provide scholarships for African Americans, right? Last year, they decided to, in addition to that, add a veteran scholarship to whoever's a veteran, African American or otherwise. That being said, we had our first meeting a month ago to try to continue this and make sure that we have a veteran scholarship that is annual. So that was meeting one. Hopefully I'll have more information as far as who we can provide it to, what are the stipulations, what deadlines, all that, and all of that jazz. We said our deadline is about May to figure out all that information. So hopefully I'll have something along the way. In addition to that, still on the veteran note, if y'all recall in September, the Veteran Commission of Alameda County, we held a stand down, which I explained stand down in veteran terms means during wartime, when you have a moment to actually sit back and gather your things and eat a hot meal and wash your clothes and things of that nature in the field. Using that in this sense, we call it stand down in the town. It's providing veterans in Alameda County just whatever they need, whether it's legal services, whether it's benefits through the Veteran Affair, whether it's housing, whether yada, yada, yada. There were haircuts last time in September, all kinds of things, resume stuff. So that being said, we're having another one. So please, hopefully we can work that out to have more veterans come to Peralta. It's free, right? So I hope to see you there December 20 at St. Vincent de Paul. That's all.
I'll echo what my colleagues said about our league conference. It was really great to sit and meet with other community college trustees, to your point, Vice President, about what we're going to do, right? We have a lot of work to do, and to continue the conversations amongst folks up and down the state. So I'm really looking forward to the next league event, which is at the end of January, where we're going to be speaking to our state legislators and meeting with folks and continuing that conversation about what our next steps are going to be as we enter 2025. Looking forward to it. And also congratulations to Coach Beam. He was one of the first people to reach out to me when I got elected the first time. And I'm really grateful for his leadership here at Laney and for Peralta in general, and happy holidays to everyone.
I have nothing to report. I just also want to say happy holidays and thank you.
Echoing that, I have nothing to report. Happy holidays, everyone.
I think with that, we can adjourn.
We have
No?
announcements.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
We're doing good tonight. Woo! So, well, first of all, let me do the announcements tonight. Best of luck to our students as they are currently engaged in finals with the semester ending on December 14th. The board will hold its annual organizational meeting this Friday, December 13th at 3:00 p.m. here at the District Service Center. And the district and colleges will be closed for the winter holidays from December 24th through January 2nd. We look forward to the start of the spring term on January 21st. There is always still time to register, so learn more by visiting the college website or peralta.edu, and have a safe and blessed winter break. And that concludes.
Now we're ready to adjourn.